Hi everybody, welcome to New Zealand's biggest gap year. 365 days, 365 activities all around New Zealand. Today we are in the Marlborough Sound. We're going to check out Lochmara, we're going to swim with Stingray, and we're going to see some dolphins. Busy day! Check in with me at the end of the video when I'm going to go over all the comments you had the first time we published it. This morning it's a short drive from Blenheim to Picton, which is going to be the last town that we're going to be exploring on our journey in the South Island of New Zealand. And as soon as we arrive in Picton, we are hopping on a boat.
This boat is taking us to a place called Lochmara, which is in the Marlborough Sounds, and it's a wildlife recovery centre, an arts centre and a lodge.
So needless to say that we are gonna have a really busy day ahead of us. And just the journey to go to Lochmara itself is absolutely amazing. The Marlborough Sound never fails to impress. As soon as we hit the shore of the beautiful resort, we have an appointment with the beautiful rays of the area. Because they are mostly getting out in really early morning hours, we have to hustle to make our way in the water and get to swim with them. We grab ourselves some snorkeling gears and a very short wetsuit because it's such a beautiful day. The water is in perfectly comfortable temperatures, so the wetsuit is really not very much needed. As soon as we hit the water, we see heaps of fish and they are really curious about us, but we're here for the stingrays.
We can't believe how quickly we're having such an awesome wildlife encounter here at Lochmara. We are getting super close to these huge stingray, which we're even allowed to touch. They have super slippery skin. But that's not the only wildlife we're in the water with. We are surrounded by yellow-eyed mullet, which are these huge schools of fish that are swimming around and around in circles. There's also loads of jellyfish, which thankfully they are not this kind that sting you. And there's starfish, there's sea urchins, and there's pied shags, which are really interesting to watch, diving underwater to catch their food.
One of the things that surprises me the most when swimming with the stingrays is how slowly they are making their way at the bottom of the water. It's absolutely amazing to see them moving in little slow motion, but as soon as you get a little bit too close or they're getting a little bit scared, they are quick to make their way very far away from you very quickly in a massive cloud of dust. When getting the snorkel, we also heard a few facts about the stingray, and it's quite impressive to know that they have one of the best senses of smell in the entire marine wildlife kingdom. They can smell cadavers or prey very far away. And yes, stingrays are not only hunters, they are also scavengers. They are often known as the vulture of the sea.
After that awesome snorkeling session, we have worked up quite an appetite, so we're going to make our way towards the Lokmaru Cafe now. But there's so many different walkways in this bay and so much to see that it does take a while to get there. There's a lot of artwork and sculptures, a lot of hammocks to lazy around in, and a lot of interesting birds as well. I mean, look at this little guy. He makes us feel like we're on some sort of tropical paradise island, which if you look around us, that's kind of what this place feels like. But yes, eventually we do make it to the Lokmaru Cafe to treat ourselves to a huge and delicious lunch.
The food is absolutely delicious, but best of all is the view. Behind us is the whole of the Marlborough Sound and the sun is out. It makes it for just a perfect day. And to make it even better, the dolphins are here, so we are rushing toward the boat because, well, there's dolphins. We learned that in the past few days there had been a massive pod of Bottlenose Dolphin that has been roaming around the sound, and they are right in front of the Lochmara Lodge. All the staff is out on the water in all sorts of different dinghy to go play with those amazing creatures. The Bottlenose Dolphin are one of the biggest species of dolphins in the world, so they're not really afraid of such a small dinghy like ours. So they are really inquisitive and super curious about us. They're getting really up close to investigate, and that's all for the better because we love dolphins.
There's so much to do at Lochmara that we're already moving on to our next activity. We are meeting Kia, who is the local marine biologist, and she is showing us her conservation area. Kia is telling us all about the amazing creatures that we've seen while snorkeling this morning, and we're going to see more of these creatures as we head towards the underwater observatory. We are leaving behind the dog, the stingray, the jellyfish and all the shags that are hanging around the coast and going into the underwater observatory to see these guys in their underwater world in the Marlborough Sounds. The underwater observatory is surrounded by an artificial reef which attracts loads of marine wildlife. It's the perfect way to see these underwater creatures without getting wet. Not that we really minded that this morning anyway.
The story behind this underwater observatory is that the Lochmara team is trying to rebuild a bit of a native reef right here in the shore of the Lochmara resort. It's gonna help them bring more wildlife and also being able to study them up close. And this underwater observatory is a great way to educate people on the value of protecting marine wildlife. From there we get to see a heap of marine creatures, from the jellyfish, the sea urchin, the awesome starfish which are actually moving right before our eyes. It's really cool. We also see the pied shags. Those birds are basically cormorants if you are from anywhere in Europe or in North America, and they are really good divers. And from the underwater observatory we can see them underwater. That's really cool to see them fish. It's absolutely unique. Once one of them actually catches a fish, we are finally done with the underwater observatory and we are moving outside to the touch tank.
If we haven't had close enough encounters with the wildlife today, we are now getting the opportunity to touch them and see what they feel like. In the touch tank, we get to see loads of different species of starfish, sea urchins, sea anemones, and so much more. They all have a really unusual texture to them, and things feel so much different to what you expect them to feel like. And finally, after all those wildlife encounters, we are moving on to our final activity of the day, which is some simple fun at the Flying Fox, otherwise known as a zip line. They have quite the hilarious zip line set up here at Lochmara, which you just can't help but laugh at as you're flying through the trees like a wood pigeon. It's so much fun and it's something you can definitely do again and again and again.
Once Laura and I had a go at the crazy flying fox, we are now well deserving of a bit of a rest. There is just so much to do here in Lochmara. In fact, they have 24 different activities. So we are heading to the hammocks because our boat is only 30 minutes away and we're gonna be relaxing a little bit before heading back to the town of Picton. We had such a crazy awesome day at Lochmara, seeing everything that the Marlborough Sound have to offer, but now I really need a nap. We see some jellyfish, ton of jellyfish. Do not fear, their stings cannot sting us. They're too short and they don't go through our skin, so we're not getting electrocuted or died just yet. Yeah. What?
We're not getting electrocuted or died, just... Do you mean or killed?
Okay, fuck off. God damn it, what is she doing to me already? Just arriving and complaining. Okay everybody, I did promise I will speak slower and that introduction was definitely not slow. So, let's start speaking a little slower. So now in this section of the video, I usually go over the comments that you guys had the first time we published it. But before that, I want to let you know that there's been a lot of updates about the Lochmara, and we did update NZPocketGuide.com with all the latest information. So I don't know what time in the year you're going to be watching this video, but please make sure to check the website. It's all 100% free, NZPocketGuide.com, and in there we really keep everything up to date for you. It's really hard to update videos, but updating the website is very easy for us, so if you're planning a trip to New Zealand, please check it out. Alright, so let's go over some of the comments you had the first time you published it. Look at me, making an effort in trying to speak slower. We had Matthew M that said he loved the video and he said we really captured the highs of Marlborough. Amazing job, and he loved that ending, by the way. Yeah, so obviously with Laura we do like to give each other some sass, and yeah, sometimes it just amuses me to just leave something at the end like that. Family Travel Vlog said love this video. You get to see so much sea life, and the favorite was the dolphins. Obviously the dolphins are always a crowd favorite, but for us, because we did have a chance to swim with dolphins before, I think our highlight was the Stingrays, because you know it's just something a little bit less common that we got to, despite the fact the common dolphins were called. Anyway, it's fine. Yeah, we did really enjoy the Stingray. So we had P Day in Camino Foot on the way is the very, very long username saying, such a nice place to snorkel and to have lunch outdoor. I love the part with the dolphins. I was never so lucky to see one so close. Good job, guys. Keep on making such videos. That's very lovely. I really appreciate the nice comment. All the comments on this video, by the way, were super positive, and I really appreciate it. And lastly, we did have Janet that had a question for us, Janet Miller. And it doesn't have much to do with Lochmara, but let's go over it anyway. A great video. When are you doing Central Plateau with the chateau? It's my favorite place. Well, we are going to do that in about maybe a couple of dozen days. So keep on watching the video. It's coming up at some point. But yeah, definitely we will not do New Zealand's biggest gap here, doing activities all around the country without going to Central Plateau. That would be heresy. That would be crazy. So obviously we will. All right, if you want to hang out with us, we are live every single Sunday at 8 AM New Zealand time, right here on YouTube, and we take all your questions to help you plan the best trip to New Zealand. And yeah, you can also check out nzpocketguide.com. You can hit like, subscribe, and all that good thing on the buttons of all that notches at the bottom. Just do some of the buttons. Just do a random numbers of buttons if you want. It's always helpful. And yeah, aside from that, you have a lovely day. Keep on traveling awesome. We'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Oh, and tell me at the end of the video if I actually did slow down enough for you, if I need to slow down even more. I know it's been a big topic in this channel. It's a big topic. Robin speaks too fast. All right. Bye bye for real.